So we got the Cyber Strike structure deck here. A couple of pretty great cards in here that we will go ahead and be pulling. One of the ones that I'm personally really looking forward to is the new Cyber Dragon Dark support, or Cyber Dark support, and the Infinite Impermanence. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy open here. Go ahead, put that to the side over here. So we got, see what the mat looks like. Oh yeah, that's right. A lot of these are updated now to really tell you, this right here tells you all about the stuff that comes in. Oh, wrong way. Tells you all about some of the stuff that comes in, a couple different combos that you can do, as well as some other packs that will actually help out the structure deck, mesh some stuff together, and it's very useful that they do that nowadays. And then we get the Cyber Dark and Dragon that looks amazing. Okay. Then we got the beginner's guide. You can scan the QR code, get more information. Try to get this open here. So one of the newer cards here that I'm really interested in is the Cyber Dark Chimera. You can discard one spell and trap to add one Powerbomb from your deck to your hand, and you can only use dragon or machine cyber monsters as fusion material this turn. But that's really good if you either A, already have a lot in the grave, or B, can put a lot into the grave. Go ahead and grab that Powerbomb, go into either your Cyber Dark Dragon or any place that you can really do. One of my personal favorites to do, I've already been testing a little bit with the deck, and you're able to just go ahead into Cyber Dark Dragon, and Cyber Dark Dragon, grab something from the grave. You don't take a whole lot of damage at the end of the turn, but it's a really nice card. Cyber Dark Realm, this thing is also quite a beauty. When you activate this, you can go ahead and add any Cyber Dark monster from your deck to your hand with a different name from the cards that are in your graveyard. Then you can immediately normal summon one extra Cyber Dark monster, and that's very useful to get in more combos, get in more plays. Then we got Cyber and Dragon, a good old classic looking wonderful. And then we got the new Cyber Dark and Dragon, Cyber Dark Dragon plus Cyber and Dragon. And now this guy's effect is he can also be special summoned by attributing one level 10 or lower Cyber Dark fusion monster. So a lot of the time you're going to be summoning it that way, not really going too often with the Cyber Dark Dragon and Cyber and Dragon. Most of the time going ahead and popping your Cyber Dark Dragon to get this big guy out. And then he is unaffected by any of your opponent's activated effects, which is spectacular, especially for Cyber Darks. And then it can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of equipped cards equipped to it. Cybernetic Horizon. I haven't tinkered with this card much myself yet, but it reads, send 2 dragon and or machine cyber monsters with different attributes to the graveyard, one each from your hand and deck. That's pretty useful to go ahead and get stuff in the grave. You go ahead and start pulling out with your Cyber Dragons or your Cyber Darks. And if you do send one machine cyber fusion from your extra deck to the graveyard, 9 times out of 10 just going to go ahead and be your Cyber and Dragon when it comes to the Cyber Darks, when you're going with a Cyber Dark specific deck. Here we got Cyber Dragon Hers. This is a great card, not the card I thought they were going to show next, but Hers along with Vier, who I think also comes in this. These two are like staples for any Cyber Dragon deck. Now, Fusion Deployment, I personally haven't seen this card before. It reads, reveal one fusion monster in your extra deck and special summon from your hand or deck one of the fusion materials whose name is specifically listed on that card. And then you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except for fusion monsters the turn you activate this card. I think that's pretty useful as well, especially in Cyber Darks. There is Infinite Impermanence. I went ahead and got myself 3 of these Cyber Strike structure decks because this card is easily, in my personal opinion, one of the best cards to ever appear in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you can activate it directly from your hand if you don't have any cards on your side of the field during your opponent's turn, and you can really shut down your opponent well with this card. Very great one to add. The Attachment Cyber and the other one that's in this deck. Let's look at the list here. Um, Attachment Cyber. Oh no, I misread. I thought that the old Cyber is also in this, but it is not. This one reads, you can target one dragon or machine cyber monster you control. You equip this card from your hand or field to it. That would be really nice to equip to the Cyberdark and Dragon. It gains 600 attack. This card is sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster. You can target one other dragon or machine cyber monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So if you have Cyber and Dragon, Cyberdark and Dragon, attach this to that. Then this gets sent to the graveyard. Go ahead and bring out your Cyberdark Dragon that you sacrificed for the Cyberdark and Dragon and get that on the field. Very useful. And Cyber Dragon, classic, just special summon from your hand if your opponent controls monsters that you don't. Cyber Dragon Zwei, another older one. You can reveal a spell card in your hand. This card's name becomes Cyber Dragon, and then it also gains 300 attack during the damage step. But this is just a really just another Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon Dry, one of the best Cyber Dragon monster cards in my personal opinion, because when he is normal summoned, you can make all Cyber Dragon monsters you currently control become level 5. And then you could just go into XCs, you can go into fusions, you can get all sorts of different plays going on. And then if this card gets banished from your graveyard, you can target Cyber Dragon you control. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. Now this is the other one that I was talking about earlier, the Cyber Dragon Vier, earlier when I was talking about the Nier and the Vier. Or what was it? No, it was Hertz and Vier that I was talking about. Become Cyber Dragon once on the field or in the graveyard, and then if you normally special summon Cyber Dragon, except during the damage step, you special summon this card from your hand in defense position. So that's really nice to just go ahead and get that out there, and then each Cyber Dragon you control gains 500 attack and defense. Now this one is also another fantastic Cyber Dragon card that I will never not recommend for a Cyber Dragon deck. This one, again, Cyber Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard, you can discard one other monster to special summon this guy, and then if he is normal special summon, you can target a machine monster with 2,100 attack or defense in your graveyard and special summon it. And then of course you can't special summon any other monsters except for machines for the rest of the turn, but that's not a problem when it comes to Cyber Dragons. Cyber Dragon Core, another staple, just gets you that easy search for your cyber spells and traps. Cyber Pharaohs, a newer one that I haven't seen before. This one reads, you can special summon it from your hand by tributing one machine monster. And then once during your main phase, you can fusion summon one machine monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. When a fusion monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from your graveyard and add one Powerbomb. I really like that. I don't know if I'd really see this going any higher than 2. I'd probably personally run this at 1, but definitely never going to even attempt to run this at 3 because it's really good, but it's not something that you want to run too much of. Cyber Valley, good old classic. For those of you that don't know, this guy is really good for just drawing extra cards, really. Very good. Cyber Phoenix, it's one of those interesting cards where like sometimes it's useful and then other times it's not. I personally find myself using at least one of these whenever I try with Cyber Dragons because you can negate any spell or trap cards while this guy's in attack position that target one machine monster you control and no other cards. But then when he is destroyed by battle, you get a +1 draw. I always like cards that give you the +1. We got Cyberdark Horn, Edge, and Keel, the good old classic guys. When they're summoned, you can go ahead and grab a level 3 or lower dragon from your graveyard and equip it. Then these cards gain attack equal to its attack. And then these guys each have their own separate effects. Horn lets you inflict piercing damage. Edge allows you to have the attack to attack directly. And then Keel, if it destroys a monster, you get to just burn for 300. So these guys, very useful. You're like your main core for the Cyberdarks. One of the newer cards, Cyberdark Canon. This one is really fun to use because you get a +1 draw from him if he's sent to the graveyard, and then you can discard him and one machine Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand. So you can discard him, add a Cyberdark monster, any of them from your deck to your hand. You can get any of the 3 staples to Horn, Edge, or Keel, and then go ahead and summon them, grab this guy from the graveyard. And then during battle, or during damage calculation, if a monster equipped with this card battles, you send one monster from your deck to the graveyard just to get some more in there. And then the other one I really like is the Cyberdark Claw. This one has the effect to, instead of discarding this one for a Cyberdark monster, you can get a Cyberdark spell / trap card. And then during damage calculation as well, you can send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. So this one is extra deck, the other one is deck. And then if this is sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can target one Cyber Dark monster in your graveyard and just straight up add it to your hand. Both of them have 1600 attack, which is very nice to equip. Ling, I don't really think that we needed more of these, but once per turn, you can either target one face-up monster you control, equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it. The original attack of a monster equipped with this card becomes 1000. You can make a second attack during each battle phase. Also, the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle card effect. Destroy this card instead. It's just a niche union monster. Now, this, I didn't even read this all the way. I did not realize that we are getting Jizu Kiryu, the Star Destroying Kaiju. Kaijus are very good, especially if your opponent starts summoning too much. Kaijus definitely recommended, so this is a great card that they added. And then I thought I saw this right behind it. This is a very, very old card. So if this card is in your hand or graveyard, this is a quick effect. You can banish 8 cards from the top of your deck face down to special summon it. Then you can banish 3 cards from your extra deck face down to target one face-up monster on the field to destroy it. The only quick effect is summoning it. Then we got Gale Dogra, pay 3000 life points to send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Cyber Eternal, target a Cyber Fusion monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, or you can special summon it. And then if a machine's Cyber Fusion monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you banish this card from your graveyard instead. I would always run this at 3. Very good card. Cyber Repair Plant, classic one. If you have Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, then you can add one Light Machine from your deck to your hand. And then if you have 3 or more Cyber Dragons in your graveyard, you can use both effects. You can add a Light Machine from your deck to your hand, and target one Light Machine monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into your deck. Cyber Emergency, great card. Lets you add a Light Machine monster that cannot be normal or set, or one Cyber monster, or Cyber Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. So, mainly you are grabbing your Cyber Dragon cards with this. And then if, let's see, this also reads, the activation of this card in its owner's possession was negated, you can discard one card, add this card right back to your hand. And you can only activate one of these per turn, but it's really nice that you can get it back if someone negates it. The Cyber Load Fusion, you can fusion one monster that lists Cyber Dragon as material by shuffling the materials into the deck from your field or your face-up banish cards. But monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of this turn, except that fusion summon monster. Cyber Dark Impact, go ahead and fusion summon one Cyber Dragon from your extra deck by shuffling the 3 monsters, Horn, Edge, and Keel, from your hand, field, or graveyard into the deck. Now, here's a newer one, Cyber Dark Inferno. Cyber Dark effect monsters you control that are equipped with an equip card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. You can target one Cyber Dark monster you control, return it to your hand, then immediately after this resolves, you can normal summon one Cyber Dark monster. You can only use this effect of Cyber Dark Inferno once per turn, and then if this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add a Polymerization spell or a Fusion spell from your deck to your hand. I find this to be quite useful. I think I'm going to be tinkering around with that card as well when it comes to Cyber Darks. Future Fusion, very, very, very old classic that got reworked. During your first standby phase, after this card's activation, you can show one fusion monster in your extra deck and send a few fusion materials listed on it from your main deck to your graveyard. Then during your second standby phase, after this card's activation, go ahead and fusion summon it. The only downside is, if this card leaves the field, that monster gets destroyed, and then when that target gets destroyed, this card gets destroyed. Fusion tag, target one monster you control, reveal one fusion monster in your extra deck. If you do, the targeted monster's name can be treated as a revealed fusion monster, if used for a fusion summon this turn. Machine Duplication, classic, but goodie. Limited removal, another classic. Doubles the attack of all your machines, but they get destroyed during the end phase. Cyber Dark Invasion reads, one per turn, you can target a Cyber Dark effect monster you control, equip one dragon or machine monster from either graveyard to it as an equip spell that gives it 1000 attack. Or, you can send one equip card you control equipped to a machine monster to the graveyard to destroy one card your opponent controls. Cybernetic Revolution, you can tribute a Cyber Dragon to special summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that lists a Cyber Dragon monster as material, but it cannot attack directly and is destroyed during the end phase of the next turn. Power Wall, during damage calculation, when you would take battle damage from an opponent's attacking monster, you can send one card from the top of your deck to the graveyard for every 500 damage you would take instead. Call of the Haunted, classic, special summon a monster from your graveyard in attack position. When this card leaves the field, the monster is destroyed. When that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. and Paleozoic Canadium. For those of you that are missing out on this card right now, great one to get from the structure deck. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, changes to face down, and then once per chain, when a trap is activated while this is in your graveyard, you can special summon it. It's level 2 with 1200 attack, 0 defense. If summoned this way, this card is unaffected by monster effects, and it is also banished when it leaves the field. We're almost to the end here. Cybernetic Overflow, you can banish Cyber Dragons with different levels from your hand, face-up on the field, and or graveyard, and destroy an equal number of cards your opponent controls. And then if this is destroyed by a card effect, you can add a Cyber Spell Trap from your deck to your hand. Then we got Chimera Tech Overdragon, very nice classic here. Just depending on how many materials that you use, those materials times 800 equals this guy's attack and defense. And then this card can attack your opponent's monsters a number of times each battle phase up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon. Then we got Cyber Darkness Dragon with 5 Cyber Dark effect monsters. When he's special summoned, you can equip 1 dragon or machine from your graveyard to the card. This card gains attack equal to the original attack of the monster equipped to it, and then when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can send 1 equipped card you control to the graveyard and get the activation and destroy it. Very useful card. We got the classic Cyber Dark Dragon, does the same thing where it just equips someone from the graveyard to it and then gains attack equal to its original attack, and then gains a bonus 100 attack for each monster in your graveyard. And if this card would be destroyed, you can destroy it and you put a monster instead. Powerbomb, another classic. Fusion summon 1 machine monster. It gets double the attack points, but during the end phase, you take damage equal to its original attack, which is why I was saying that's really good to use for the Cyber Dark Dragon and the Cyber Darkness Dragon. Then Overload Fusion to banish materials from your graveyard to special summon a fusion monster, a Dark Machine from your extra deck. And then we got the QR code Dawn of Majesty and Structure Deck Cyberstrike. Appreciate you guys watching. Take care, y'all.